Day 4 and 5 of the Omer. Day 4 is actually Moshe Rabbeinu, Moses, our teacher, our prophet, the greatest prophet. And it coincided with the Sabbath, so I couldn't really broadcast because we're not supposed to do any work on the Sabbath. So day 4 is Chesed B'Netzach, and day 5 is Chesed B'Hod. What does that mean? Netzach is a term for eternity. In other words, the values of Moses, our prophet, was to be forever. And in order to create these values for a community, he had to be on good terms with his brother. And if we look at the relationship of Aaron, this is actually day 5. In other words, we talked about 7 days of the 7 shepherds, and this is 4 and 5 is Moshe and Aaron, Moses and Aaron. So what do they symbolize? They symbolize Achdut, the unity of brothers. Okay, but it was amazing relationship they had, because they had to go with the Jewish people through the desert, and they were always together, and they always were working for the ultimate goal. Now, in this week's Sabbath portion is called Acharem, after the death of Aaron's son. So they say, and Aaron was dom. What does it mean, dom? It sounds like dumb, but it's dom means silent. In other words, their sons made a foreign sacrifice for the Mishkan, for the holy Ark of the Covenant, while they were in the desert. And what happened was they passed away, they died. And there's many things written about it. But the bottom line is, why didn't Aaron speak? Because he realized that the future of the world exists in Hashkachas Pratis, which is divine providence. If this is what happened, we have to understand there's a reason, and we have to have empathy. And Aaron is really the man of empathy, because at the time of the golden calf, he was the one that brought people together. They had the mentality of Egypt at the time. So in order to make because Moses had delayed himself from coming down the mountain, there was turmoil in the camp, and his action actually created less people dying. But he took the gold and he threw it in, and Moses questioned him, "What happened?" He goes, "I don't know, I was just stalling, and I threw this into the fire, the gold, and out came this golden calf." And this is the golden calf that they had to go 40 years in the desert because of their sin. And this whole concept of the Mishkan is God was dwelling within us at the time in the desert, and even at the time when the temples were destroyed. So we have to understand, we have to be very cautious and understand that God has a purpose, and we have to find his purpose, and we have to sift through the lies and the truths contemporary what's happening today in the Jewish people. It could very well be that God is creating a situation where the Jews are now returning to the land of Israel. So I wish you all a very happy, good Shabbos. It's still Passover, and